And a good evening here to everybody watching out there in YouTube land. It is now time for the Sky Meeting YouTube Weekend Sports Wrap Up. I'm going to jump right into the show here in just a moment here. What a weekend in Major League Baseball we had. The New York Mets take 2-3 from the struggling New York Yankees. What is going on in Yankee Stadium? I will have the answers for that for you tonight. The Boston Red Sox and the Oakland A's and the Red Sox take 2-3 from the A's, and a pitcher's duel on Sunday that everybody in the baseball world talks. The NBA Finals are now set between the Bucks and the Suns. I will give you my opinion on who wins the NBA Finals. In the world of auto racing, the NASCAR Cup Series makes its first trip to Road America, and it was a successful one. And Roger Penske, the Penske team finally gets their first win of the IndyCar season. So what is going on with the New York Mets? I will address all of that tonight, and I will also have an update on the Trevor Bauer situation. All of that tonight on the Sky Meeting YouTube Weekend Wrap-Up Show. And a good evening there, everybody watching there and out there in YouTube land. It is now time for the Scott Manning YouTube Weekend Wrap-Up Show, the best sports show in all of the United States. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here tonight. We have a lot to talk about. I may be here for more than a half hour tonight because, like I said before, we have a lot we need to talk about, and I'm just going to get it right underway, and let's just jump right into it. The New York Mets. Yes, the New York Mets took 2 of 3 from the New York Yankees. The Yankees took the second half of a Sunday doubleheader tonight 4-2. But still, the struggles for the Yankees continue, and I'll get to that here in a bit. But first, for the New York Mets in this series, Francisco Lindor. He's getting much better now. He was 4 for 10 in this series, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Dominic Smith, show him some love. 5 of 11 in this series, 4 runs, a home run, 4 RBIs, a walk, but he did strike out 4 times, unfortunately. And Pete Alonso in this series, not much to brag about. 2 for 12 with 2 runs, but he did have 2 home runs. He had a walk, but he struck out 5 times. And yes, there were some fireworks on this 4th of July for the Mets. But what about the Yankees in this series? The Yankees had some struggles. Aaron Judge, he was 3 for 11. He did have 2 runs, a home run, and an RBI, but he struck out once. DJ LeMahieu, 2 for 9 in this 3 games homestand. He had 2 walks, but he struck out 4 times. And Giancarlo Stanton, I cannot believe I bragged about this guy. He was only 1 for 7 with a run, but he struck out 3 times. And some huge news came from Major League Baseball came out. Aaron Judge, Aroldis Chapman, and Garrett Cole were named to the All-Star team. Well, I'll say this, though. Cole and Chapman did not play like All-Stars today. They were horrible. Garrett Cole, in today's game, he pitched 3 1/3, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 3 walks. He did strike out 6, but he gave up a home run. And here's the kicker for Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's ERA has gone up to 5.24 since Major League Baseball decided back in early June that it would start cracking down on pitchers using illegal substances. Before that ruling came, Garrett Cole had an ERA of 1.78. And Aroldis Chapman, what a joke he's become. In his first game back since giving up a grand slam against the LA Angels on Wednesday night, he failed to get an out, and he faced 3 batters. And right now, in his last 9 outings, think about this. In his last 9 outings, Aroldis Chapman's ERA has gone up to, are you ready for this? 22.26. I am not kidding, people. It was a nightmare. I have never seen, and right now I am bearish on the Yankees' future. And the Yankees right now, I'm bearish on them. And right now, well, I wasn't thinking that, but I was thinking more in the lines of this. Yankees manager Aaron Boone said after the embarrassment in the opening game, he said, I was disappointed in our performance. Right now, Aaron Boone, Aroldis Chapman, and Garrett Cole need to be really considering doing this. I have never seen a Yankee team play so bad like they did. Saturday, they got their doors blown off 8-3. And then all of a sudden, yes, there was fan interference in their 10-5 loss. Yes, I did see a fan interfere. I saw a Jeffrey Mayer wearing a Mets shirt. I did see that. I'm not going to deny it. Yes, I did see that. And there's something else. And if you think about this, Aaron Judge, he's been the only bright spot for the Yankees in this all-star lineup. Chapman and Cole showed me nothing. The Yankees are struggling. I'm going to address that later in the show. But for the Mets to take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, that is huge. And right now, the Mets are going to win the NL East. There's no doubt in my mind. But as far as the AL East goes, tune in at a later time. I'll have another difference of opinion on that. All right. Let's move on. The AL East leading Boston Red Sox took 2 of 3 today. Took 2 of 3 from the Oakland A's. And it was huge. But if you think about this series, not everybody played the whole series. And I'll give you a case in point. JD Martinez. He was 2 for 9 with an RBI, but he did strike out 3 times. Now, those buzzers are for the 3 Ks, just to let you know. I should have told you that in the beginning. My bad. Now, Martinez, he did not play the whole series. He did not do that. Rafael Devers, he was 4 of 13 with 2 big doubles in the series, an RBI and a strikeout. He will not get a buzzer. But Xander Bogaerts, he was 2 for 9 with 2 runs, an RBI, but he did strike out 3 times. Now, the Red Sox are in first place in the AL East. And think about the All-Stars that have been named to the team. But for the Oakland A's, to be all fair, Matt Olson, he was only 2 for 11 with 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Matt Chapman, he was 4 for 13 with a run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts of his own. And Jed Lowry, he was 4 for 11 with a double, a home run, 2 RBIs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Because of the home run, I will not give him a buzzer. But the Oakland A's did get some good news this afternoon. Matt Olson has been named to the All-Star team for the first time in his career. And he's been in the league over 6 years. But I want to talk about something different. The Sunday pitchers duel that had everybody talking. Nick Pivetta got the win for the Red Sox. He pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, struck out 10. James Kaprielian, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, a walk. He struck out 10. That earned run was the difference maker. And Matt Barnes gets his 19th save of the season for the Red Sox. He pitched an inning, gave up a hit, and struck out 1. He gets his 19th save of the season. And what a moment it was. And I'll tell you right now, the Red Sox are the team to beat in Major League Baseball. And right now, everybody knows good and well that the Red Sox are in the driver's seat and the Yankees are struggling. And I'll address that after a bit. All right, let's move on. The Milwaukee Bucks punched their ticket. Now, this is back from Saturday night, before I forget. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Atlanta Hawks 118-107 Saturday night in Game 6 of the NBA East Finals to punch their ticket into the NBA Finals. Now, how in the world did the Bucks do it minus Giannis? Here's how they did it. Chris Middleton, 32 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. Drew Holiday, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. He was the stealer of the show. Brook Lopez, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks. He was the roadblock that kept Trae Young from scoring. Bobby Portis, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. We don't get to call his name much. Pat Connaughton, think about this. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals off the bench. And Jeff T got 11 points off the bench himself. If you think about what Milwaukee did, they shot 46% from the field, 37.5% from the free throw line, and they were a remarkable 19 of 21 at the free throw line for 90.5%. That's how they did it. And Middleton, Holiday, Lopez, Portis, those 4 starters in double figures for the Bucks, they combined to shoot 29 of 62. And think about what Connaughton and Teague did. Think about their role coming off the bench. They were a combined 8 of 13, and they were 6 of 9 from beyond the arc. That is how the Milwaukee Bucks won Game 6 of the NBA East Finals and punched their ticket to face the Phoenix Suns. But for the Atlanta Hawks, they never led in this ball game at all. And if you think about this, Bogdan Bogdanovic, 20 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. Cam Reddish, a bench guy. He had 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Trae Young, he was back, but he wasn't. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal. Clint Capella, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. That was it for him. John Collins, 13 points, 11 rebounds, not anywhere near enough. 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Danilo Gallinari, 13 points, 8 rebounds. That was it for him. Now the Hawks shot 41.3% from the field. They shot 37.5% from beyond the arc, and they only shot 82.6% from the free throw line. And they never let it all in this ball game. But if you think about what Collins, Capella, Young, and Bogdanovic did, those 4 players right there only shot a combined 24 of 51 for the game. And they were bad. And everybody knew it. And that's what the Hawks were doing after the game. They were crying about it. But the Atlanta Hawks, give them some love. Think back to March when they were 14-20 and down and out. They fired Lloyd Pierce, and they named Nate McMillan head coach or interim head coach. They should take that interim tag off and name Nate McMillan head coach. He got the Hawks to the 5 seed, and look how far they got. They beat the Knicks in the opening round. And in the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Philadelphia 76ers, the Hawks stunned the 76ers, the 1 seed in the NBA East playoffs. Think about that. But they came up short against Milwaukee. So what happens to the Hawks? They start a long offseason. But what about the Milwaukee Bucks? They've got to face the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals. I'm going to address that here in a little bit. I have not forgotten about that at all. But right now, let's move to a motor racing wrap-up. For the first time ever, the NASCAR Cup Series went to Road America. Chase Elliott came home the winner. Christopher Bell was second, and the Busch brothers took third and fourth, with Kyle third and Kurt fourth, and Denny Hamlin finished fifth. What a race it was at Road America. The Road America Sports Car Course is one of the most beautiful tracks in the world. It's got all those elevation changes, 4 miles around. Anything can happen, and it usually does. What a race today at Road America. So what's next for the Cup cars? Next Sunday, they go to Atlanta, Georgia, for a 500-mile race there. And with a 3:30 start time on NBCSN, just about anything can happen, and it usually does. Chase Elliott, the Road Warrior, wins today. Let's see how he does at his home track. This is Chase Elliott's home turf. This is his home track. Let's see how Chase does. And we'll see who comes home the winner next Sunday in Atlanta. And right now, and also too, I've not forgotten about this. The IndyCar Series today was at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Joseph Newgarden won at Mid-Ohio today, and this is the first win for the Penske team in 2021, and it came on the 50th anniversary of Roger Penske's first ever win. Go back to July 3rd, 1971 at Pocono at the Schaefer's 500. Remember Schaefer's beer, big beer company back then? Mark Donohue scored Roger Penske's first ever win as an owner at the Schaefer's 500 at Pocono. It has been that long. It is hard to believe that the Penske team and all their success. It was a great day to be in an American to watch the Penske team go to victory lane today, and it was a great job and a great win all the way around. The Penske operation and the Penske team got it done today. The next time we will see the Indy cars, it will not be until August 8th at Nashville. Originally, next Sunday, they were supposed to go to Toronto, but the Toronto race has been canceled due to the COVID-19 restrictions north of the border. So there will be no race in Toronto. So we won't be seeing the Indy cars again until the 8th of August. It's a long way away, and it's over a month away. But it's going to be a long break that the Indy cars will need after Mid-Ohio today. All right. Let's move on. I want to talk about this. My predictions for the NBA Finals. A lot of people have said Giannis in the lineup is a huge loss. It will be. Because if you look at the Phoenix Suns, look at the team they've got. They got a bench, they got depth, and they got some guys that can actually come out of nowhere and come off the bench and do some damage. Think about this for a minute. For the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, he's averaging 27 points per game. Chris Paul, 18.1 points per game, and he's also been averaging 8.7 assists per game and 1.4 steals per game. There's two big guys right there. DeAndre Ayton, don't forget about him. He's averaging a double-double per game and 16.2 points per game and 11.8 rebounds per game. And he's also been averaging 0.9 blocks per game. He knows how to be a roadblock. And then you got Mikal Bridges. He can come out of nowhere. He's averaging 10.8 points per game so far in the postseason. And Jay Crowder, he's actually come off the bench and scored in double figures. He's been averaging 10.4 points per game. And Cameron Payne, he can come off the bench and do some damage. He's been averaging 10.1 points per game. The Phoenix Suns have a great starting five, and they have a real good bench. But for the Milwaukee Bucks, everybody right now in Las Vegas and Atlantic City is thinking no Giannis for most of this series. And that could be a huge setback. Because if you think about it, Giannis before he got hurt, Giannis Antetokounmpo before he got hurt, he'd been averaging 28.2 points per game and 12.7 rebounds per game. But the Milwaukee Bucks really only have three other players that can really step up. Chris Middleton, he's been averaging 23.4 points per game and 1.5 steals per game. Drew Holiday, he's been averaging 17.6 points per game in the postseason, but he's also been averaging 8.4 assists per game. Brook Lopez, he's been averaging 13.5 points per game and 1.8 blocks per game. The Phoenix Suns have opened up as a favorite in Game 1 on Tuesday night. The Suns are at minus 175. They are odds-on favorites. And the Milwaukee Bucks are the underdog at plus 150. And the Suns are a 5.5-point favorite in Game 1 on Tuesday. I'm going to be quite honest with you. If Giannis was not hurt, I'd be going with the Milwaukee Bucks. But now it becomes a 50-50 toss-up. ESPN has it 51% Milwaukee wins the series. Milwaukee wins the finals. But I'm going to be quite honest with you. Without Giannis in the lineup, I am going to pick the Phoenix Suns to win the NBA Finals because if the Bucks don't have Giannis at all in the final, they're dead in the water because the Suns have a team that can do a lot of damage. And think back to their only meeting in the season. Giannis left the game in the fourth quarter of their only meeting of the season. And I think my memory serves me correct, the Bucks did survive that. However, no Giannis in the lineup is huge. Because think about this. You got Devin Booker, CP3, DeAndre Ayton. Take out the bench guys for a minute. There are three big guys right there. So with that being said, and I know a lot of people, I'm probably going to get some backlash over this, but I don't care. I am picking the Phoenix Suns to win the NBA Finals. Because this time around, the Milwaukee Bucks not having Giannis for most of the finals is going to come back to haunt them. Yes, I grant you in the last two games of the NBA East Finals between the Hawks and the Bucks blew them away. They blew them away, yes. But keep in mind, the Hawks did not have Trae Young for Game 5, and he was there, but he wasn't for Game 6. But this time around, I think the Bucks may have just bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. Because like I said, Booker, Paul, and Ayton, they can do a lot of damage, just those three. Going into Game 1 on Tuesday night. We'll see what happens. But I'm taking the Phoenix Suns to win the NBA Finals. You heard it from me first, folks. I'm sticking with the Suns to win the NBA Finals. All right. Let's move on. I said I was going to talk about it earlier, but I'm going to do it now. The New York Yankees, they have been struggling almost all season long. And the Yankees are showing it going into the All-Star break. They are only one game above 500. If it weren't for the fact that the Baltimore Orioles were the most sorry team in the league, the Yankees will probably be in dead last right now. Think about this. Garrett Cole, in his last two outings, Cole has allowed 10 runs, 9 of those earned against the Red Sox and the Mets. And he signed a 9-year, $324 million contract back in 2019 for crying out loud. And if you think about this, just forget about the rest of the teams. Against the Mets and the Red Sox, the Yankees are a combined 1-8. That one win came tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. And against the Boston Red Sox right now, the Yankees are 0-6. They got blown away at Yankee Stadium. They got blown away at Fenway. What is going on? But go back to June 1st for a minute. Since June 1st, just a little over a month ago, the New York Yankees are 12-16. That is a nightmare. But if you look at the batting numbers for the Yankees right now, as a team, the Yankees are in 235. That's bad. Their on-base percentage is 321 as a team. Yikes. Their slugging percentage is only 395. My sister, I got buddies that are like 40, 50 years old who can hit better than that. And their OPS is only 717. Ay. But I will say this in all fairness. The Yankees have been injury-plagued almost all season. Zach Britton, he's on the 10-day DL with a hamstring, but he did throw in a bullpen session on Saturday. Clint Frazier, he's on the 10-day injured list because of vertigo. Nothing abnormal has showed up. There's some good news, but he's going to keep undergoing testing. Corey Kluber, he was a big loss. He's on the 60-day DL, and he won't be back until August or September. And the Yankees may be way out of it by then. Aaron Hicks, he's on the 60-day DL with a wrist injury. Right now, there are people in New York that are actually calling for Aaron Boone to be fired. There are people in New York right now that are calling for Aaron Boone's job. The Yankees are a game above 500. Everybody had picked them to win the division, including myself. I'm definitely having second thoughts on that and then some. And you're seeing what's going on in New York, and you're thinking, what is going on with the Yankees? They're supposed to be the team that everybody talks about in New York. not the New York Mets. The Mets are 6 games above 500. They're in first place in the National League East. Everybody's saying that the East is weak. I'll address that another time. But the Mets are in first place. They got one of the best pitchers in Jacob deGrom with an ERA under 1. The Mets have become the team in New York that everybody's talking about. And all in good ways. But when it comes to the Yankees, all New Yorkers say, I'm done. They all go running for the hills. Or running for the big skyscrapers or the big deluxe buildings in the sky. If you get what I mean. Should Aaron Boone be fired? That's for a lot of people to think. But I'm going to be quite honest with you. The Yankees have been struggling all season long. And you're seeing why. Should Aaron Boone be fired? In my opinion, just my Yankee-hating opinion, yes. But if you stop and think about it, think about all the injuries that have plagued the Yankees all year. Should Aaron Boone be fired? I'm going to leave that up to the Yankees organization. I'm going to leave that up to the Steinbrenners. And another thought I just had. Aaron Judge had a players-only meeting on Friday during the rain delay before the game was washed out. He said, Aaron Judge said, we need to get it together. Well, that meeting should have came back in late May or early June. The Yankees are in deep trouble. They're only playing 500 ball right now. When everybody said they're going to win the AL East. Now the Yankees still could take the East, but they got to start hitting better. They can't be hitting 235. They got to start hitting 250 or 260. And they got to hope and pray the Red Sox fall apart like they did back in 1978. And that's all there is to it. And that's the bottom line. All right. I am going to address the Trevor Bauer situation. Now, Trevor Bauer, this past Friday, was placed on a 7-day administrative leave by the Los Angeles Dodgers. That means he cannot be involved in team workouts, he cannot be at the games, and he is not allowed making any starts. Bauer was slated to make a start on Sunday. His start got yanked because of the administrative leave. We may not see Trevor Bauer again until after the All-Star break. But right now, he has 5 days left on his administrative leave. This came after he was accused of sexual assault. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of what happened because I don't want to upset anybody. Major League Baseball investigators are pursuing a range of inquiries according to sources. MLB investigators are going to be talking with the woman who obtained a restraining order against Bauer last week. I'm not going to go into the details of the sexual assault because they're too graphic, and I don't want to offend anybody. But I will say this though: as far as all the allegations, or all the accusations, Bauer has denied everything so far. I wrote down most of this information because I was going to talk about it, but I figured I better not. I figured, no. I'm going to let you guys read it, and you can make your own assumption. But I'm just going to come right out and say this. And ladies and gentlemen, I am going to make this my closing thoughts. Now, I'm going to back up. I am going to talk about the Bauer situation. Now, Bauer has denied everything. He's denied the accusations. He has a right to an investigation. But if it turns out that Bauer really did this, he got a 7-day administrative leave from the Dodgers. It could go longer. It depends on what Major League Baseball wants to do from the legal standpoint. But if it turns out that Trevor Bauer did it, I hope he gets suspended for the rest of the season. I hope his career comes to an end. Think about Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves. He punches a woman, now his career is almost over. But if it comes back that Trevor Bauer did this, he should get kicked out of Major League Baseball. He should get at least get a 60 to 80 game suspension. And if it turns out he didn't, if he's found guilty, he should go to jail. That's all there is to it. I don't condone a man hitting a woman. I don't. That's how I've been raised. And I think Trevor Bauer's parents, and right now, the Dodgers organization is ashamed of him right now. This is going to stick with him this is going to stick with Bauer for a long time. He's on administrative leave now. But if this turns out he needs to go further, we may not see Bauer again the rest of the season. We don't know. But if it turns out he did do it, I hope he gets suspended for the rest of the season, and I hope his career comes to an end. Because I'll tell you right now, there is no room for a woman beater in Major League Baseball or in any sport. I don't care if it's Major League Baseball. I don't care if it's the NFL or the NBA. There is no room for a guy hitting a woman in any sports league, period. So hopefully Major League Baseball and the Pasadena California Police Department get this right. If Bauer did do it, I hope he gets the book thrown at him. But if he didn't do it, I'll be a fair man. But I will say this one more time. It is not okay for a man to beat up a woman under any circumstance. And that's all there is to it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thoughts on this night. As we end the 4th of July weekend, we celebrated our Independence Day with the fireworks that had everybody talking. There were fireworks all over the baseball field today and all over the racetrack. Take the time to thank our veterans. And take the time to thank our men and women in uniform who have made the sacrifice to be away from their families to fight for our freedoms that we have in the United States. It was a great Independence Day weekend. As we get ready to resume to reality and get back to normal in the normal business, it's going to be an opportunity. I enjoyed my Independence Day. I hope you guys did too. But I just want to let you guys know, I'm proud to be an American. And that's all there is to it. Bottom line. Okay, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for taking this time with me here tonight. I will be back here Friday at 12 noon for the Scott Manning YouTube Weekend Kickoff Show. And I'll have the weekend wrap-up next Sunday night at 11:30 Eastern Time. You guys have a great weekend. You guys have a great week. I'll be back here at 12 noon on Friday. And I thank you guys so much for being with me. And God bless. Good night, everybody. And thank you. And God bless America.